Hey guys, welcome back to part 2. Here is the basket die that we created in part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. As you can see here, sometimes with the basket die, because of the fabric being batch, sometimes you get these white spots where the die does not reach. I am perfectly fine with this because it gives each flag its own uniqueness and style, and that when it's done, it looks like it's a part of the flag. So this is me just checking to see how many white spots, to see how the dye took in the different areas. I am absolutely in love with this. So now it is time to rinse out the first set. This is the purplish blue, the yellow, and the red. So for me, there are certain colors that it takes a while to get the water to run clear. So for me, I typically rinse until it's clear, and then I'll shampoo it. In this case, in this flag, it's the red that's going to give me a hard way to go. So I'm going to rinse. There's a couple of different techniques that you can do. I sped up this video, but sometimes you can either keep rinsing until the water is clear, or you can do the soak method that I'm going to show you in the next flag. So this is me just continuing to rinse. I typically start with warmer water, and then as the dye starts to come out, I switch it to a cooler temperature. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just rinsing the fabric, trying to get all of the loose dye out. And then the silk fabric is also to get rid of any dye that did not take to the silk. So here I usually have my water a little warm to get the excess dye. And then a final rinse is always in cold. This is not my typical brand that I use, so it doesn't suzz like the other one. However, as you guys know, I'm displaced. I'm at my daughter's house, and I'm doing the best that I can until I can get back home. But yes, I'm rinsing out this flag because you see the water is getting red. All right. Now the last rinse is pretty much to rinse out the soap that I washed the silk with. And like I said, this is on a cooler temperature. And as you can see, the water is starting to get clearer. There's less red dye in the sink. All right, and this one is pretty much go. Let's move on and get ready for the second set. So now I am rinsing the flag that I created with the purple, the blue, the gold, and the magenta. So for this flag, it's mainly the magenta and the purple that's running a lot. The blue and the gold, you're not going to see much, but you'll see a lot of pink and purple. For this one, I did a lot of rinsing, but I decided that since I was waiting for the first flag to dry, I will let this one soak. And by doing the soaking technique, you don't have to sit and rinse as long underneath the water. So this is me trying to rinse. I'm pretty much opening the fabric because it was bunched up to make sure that I am rinsing off any of the powder dye or any of the dye that did not attach to the silk, to make sure I get a good rinse. Yep, that's just me just getting through all of the fabric and rinsing it out really good. The thing I like about ice dye, you just never know how it's going to turn out. And that's just part of the beauty. Don't get me wrong. I love liquid dye, and I will be creating some videos with that. But with the ice dye, it's just a beautiful finish because you don't know what to expect. All right, so now I'm going to take the warmer water, add my silk detergent. And then this one I'm going to let soak. So me just taking the fabric, getting it in the water. Now I'm going to let it sit. So this is after I let it sit. I'm wringing it out. As you can see, the water is purple. So now when I rinse it, I'm just pretty much rinsing out the soap that was in a container. And this one will be clear. Be good to go because I let it sit. So this is my final rinse before I hang it out. So as you can see, the water it's purple, but it's getting clear. By the time I'm done, it's actually clear. I'm not at home, so this is me fumbling around trying to get the pressure together to avoid splashes so that I don't get dye all over her countertops. So as you can see, the water is now clear. So this flag set is done, and I'm going to hang it out to dry. And now I'm about to show you you guys what it look like. All right, this is the first one that I rinsed out. This is the purplish blue. As you can see, to me, these white parts look like they are part of the flag. This is the second one. You see the white patches. I love this one. The gold, the magenta, and the blue. Just absolutely beautiful. So now let's see these babies in action.